everyone, and welcome to Respect DanceFest Weekly with me, Micaya, and my beautiful co-host, Brandy Beasley.
Brandy, yes, what's up, y'all? Oh, 2 more weeks? Are we 2 weeks? 2 weeks till DanceFest.
Yes, exactly 2 weeks away to the 22nd annual San Francisco International Hip Hop Dance Fest online.
Online, don't stop, won't stop.
We're giving you live performers. We're giving you a piece that's never been seen, world premiere. We've got VIPs. We've got all kinds of cool stuff, huh, Brandy?
Yes, I'm excited. I gotta pick out like my earrings. I'm wearing some DanceFest gear. I don't know what else, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to just like commune with my DanceFest people and just immerse in DanceFest. Yes.
Me too. It's important. We all need art. We all need, as many people who have come up to me after every show and testified how this show has been important, how art has been important, and this is one of their favorite shows of the year. And I'm not saying that to toot any horns, but it really is. I've heard it enough times that I can say that with all clarity and say, okay, this is a really special event that people look forward to every year. And we all need something to kind of just tie ourselves into artistically to inspire us.
I'll toot it. Toot, 22 years. What you mean? You're not going to toot that horn. And you said something about VIPs. So we have our guest today is an SF International Hip Hop Dance Fest VIP. Yes, Mr. Kenichi. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
All right. So so Kenichi is DanceFest. He's been DanceFest from like early on, self-taught performing artist and director who's known for his use of illusion, light, and sound in his theatrical performances. So this is so cool for me because it's just been a minute and I get to now like really get into it with Mr. Kenichi. But first we're going to see a clip of him at the SF International Hip Hop Dance Fest.
Hello and welcome, Kenichi. We're so honored to have you. Thank you for being here.
Hey, it's so long time no see you and so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too. And so you're in Japan now, huh?
Yes, I'm back in Japan now.
Back in Japan. Wow. When you came to perform at DanceFest, you were living in New York, but you've been in Japan. My first question is about Japan because I've never been, Brandy has, but I know that anytime dancers come to take my class, like from Japan, they all and really respect me. They all want my picture, and they really have a different respect and awe and reverence for me. And in the dance world, I feel like it's very different, the word respect, especially for teachers, right? Compared to here, because you've been both. Can you speak to that?
I think street dancers are getting more respect than, for example, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And they're getting more jobs, opportunities. And there are so many dance schools, studios in Japan.
Yeah.
And their level are extremely high, I think. But for example, like 10, 20 years ago, if your son or a daughter says, oh, I want to be a dancer, probably the parents might have said, oh no, that's not good. you can make a living. But now it's different. For example, so it's a difference. But the rank, I don't know. I don't want to compare, but like compare with, for example, musicians, like singers, actors, compare with some other categories, of artists or performer. The dancers are still little, lower, I have to say. But compare with the other type of performing artists, for example, jugglers, um, you know, like gymnastics or the other kinds of, performers, dancers might have more respect and more values, more price. No.
Yeah.
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 Higher price.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Am I correct? I'm answering right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Do you think that now dancers can make a living in Japan more, you're saying?
Yeah, actually, there was a very interesting article, like a news article in Japan. The dancers, not talking about the old dancers, but like professional, not including students, of course. But the dancers are making more money than average salary of what is it? The business. I mean,
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
office worker.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I need to come back to Japan and go to all these dance studios. That's exciting. I'm just like, wow, there's so many dance studios. Because I feel like sometimes, depending on what city you're in the Bay Area, I lived in San Francisco for like 13 years and then moved to Oakland. And I mean, just because of, San Francisco and the people are there tends to be, I don't know if there's more studios, but maybe they're able to offer more classes. So I'm always just like, it's exciting when you see a place with a lot of dance studios because, I love dance and everything, if you didn't know. So, but I have a question about you. And I know you say you do dance-ish, and I think that might be because you have so many different types of performance in your performances. When did you start performing or bringing dance into your performances? Tell us about your relationship with dance.
Well, I started from dancing, from hip hop, and in earlier age, okay, talking about how I started dance.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to the United States when I was 20, and I went to the college. I mean, before college, I was learning, English. Then I met hip hop dance. Then I started dancing just as a hobby, right? Then while I was in a college, I loved dancing. I just kept dancing, and I started performing as a solo first in a school, like the English language school and a college. Then more people start to join me and make a team, like a crew. Then performing in the college, the events. Then, so that's how I started. And in that era, it was more dancing. But I was never in dancer community. For example, I never took lessons, and I was in Connecticut and a little bit far from New York at the time. So the weekend, I went to New York and the clubs, and then I saw dancers, then try to mimic, the steps and movements. Then going back to my college and performing and practicing and teaching the other students. But when I performed at the time, the audience were all general public, not dancers related. So to keep entertaining them, I felt a little bit, how can I say, it wasn't enough to, keep entertaining them only with the dance. Then I started putting some, other materials like magic or making a story. Like in the beginning, I was simply dancing to the music, that's it.
Mhm.
But then I tried to make kind of storyline so that the people can feel easier to watch, I can say, and then easier to watch longer time. Then adding the other materials into dance. So starting with the dance, 100%, the other materials like this, and going like this. That's how I became like this. I still love dance, and but I know myself, my dance skill is not enough to entertain people. So that's how I made my style like this.
So are you saying that if you thought that your dance skill was enough, that you wouldn't have added all of the other theater things that you had, that you saw because you felt either inadequate perhaps, or you just really felt like the audience wanted that more?
Both actually. I mean, I was okay as a dance skill back then, not now, but back then. And they were, I think, people were like audience were enjoying my dance too.
Yeah.
But for example, to run a show for long time, not like 3, 5, 10 minutes, but 1 hour, for just by dancing. I mean, first of all, as a stamina, it's hard.
Right.
And also, I think that people get bored if you're not interested in dance. So, I don't know. I think that people want it that way. Also, I want it that way too.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a good question, but difficult question.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, as a choreographer myself, I have a lot of conceptual ideas. I think more than a lot of dance choreographers that just do steps, that I have stories or ideas or scenarios. And I feel like you have an infinite supply of them, and that is kind of part of just who you are. Am I correct?
Yeah. I mean, but now, a lot of the dancers, a lot of dance companies are making, the show, just making piece with the storylines and everything.
Mhm.
But back then, I mean, around me, there was no like dancers or dance crews doing like specific with specific like storylines or maybe theme, yes, but not like by scenes.
Yeah.
And when I started, some dancers didn't agree with me, or I mean, some dancers I got criticism because you're not dancer. What you're doing is not dancing,
Mm.
right? But my main target, my focus was general public, to entertain more people
Right.
than only dance freaks, I would say.
Right.
I wanted to make it more, uh, more people to enjoy. you know, like street dancing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead. No, go
so
ahead.
I was really happy. There was a moment that when I did the show for the only seniors over like 60s, over 60, you know, all seniors, and they thought they didn't really know what the hip hop dance was. It's a really countryside in, you know, Northeast, and then they didn't have a good, how can I say, good image for the hip hop dancing. It's more like a ghetto and not, I mean, not sophisticated, or, you know, like back in like 20 years ago, hip hop wasn't, you know, clean image like this now. So, but when I did it, when I performed for them, many of them came to talk to me. Oh, you know, your performance was, you know, great, and I never thought that the hip hop dance was like this. And you know, now I think, you know, I'm gonna start watching the hip hop dance. That's really, you know, compliment. You know what I mean? I was really happy to hear that.
Absolutely. I mean, you're bringing you, obviously you love hip hop, and it's like been something that's fueled you, you know, that's kept you going and creating, and still, even though, like you said, it's happening like this, it's still a very big part of your performance. And
My base.
Right. And I mean, that's why I think you are perfect for DanceFest, because it's a dance festival, and it's a place where, you know, Micaya is asking people, come, this is your stage to create, to do something with hip hop that is not necessarily a competition or battling, which are part of hip hop, you know. So not saying, oh, we have to stop doing that. It's just, let's add this other venue as well. And I think that she very much kind of encourages, and the DanceFest, you know, compels people to like, tell a story. Tell me a story.
Yeah, yeah. So now it's different, but back then, first year was a 2005 when I performed in a hip hop dance fest. Around that time, I mean, maybe I didn't know the other world, but other than the, you know, San Francisco Hip Hop Dance Fest, I didn't know any theater, how can I say, theater show, focusing on a theater show in a hip hop or like street dance field. In New York, I mean, there was nothing like, you know, San Francisco Hip Hop Dance Fest in New York at the time. And I was not battle, you know, dancer, or more like, yeah, hip hop, not that kind of type, but more like show performer on a stage. And the San Francisco Hip Hop Dance Fest was perfect for me to express myself and explore and to step up in my career. Then I learned a lot from the other companies in the San Francisco Hip Hop Dance Fest. So it's not saying too big, but the Hip Hop Dance Fest was one of my big milestone of my career. And because I tried many pieces through the Hip Hop Dance Fest. I think I attended like 3-4 years in a row. And I think, yeah, and I performed many different type of pieces.
You did.
As a solo and then as a crew.
Right.
And as a duet. And it was good, how can I say, place to try to see the, you know, people's reaction. Okay, this worked, this didn't. And so And through the hip hop, first one, I think the first one I performed was RoboCop.
Yes.
And I put it, yeah, I put it up on YouTube, early age of YouTube. And it wasn't the big hit as not big as like America's Got Talent, but at the time, probably like producers or like some industry people have watched that RoboCop, clip. Then I started getting more work. Then, because of that, I think the Showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah.
So that was a 2006 to 2007 when I did it as a solo performer, and I became champion. Then, so that was good kind of, how can I say, milestone, or without doing that, who would see me, right? So, and also, I really remember that. I mean, maybe it's not good talking about the money, but after, before I performed in the San Francisco Hip Hop Dance Fest, my pay, my like wage, how can I say, the warranty, yeah, for one show was about $500. So then after I performed in San Francisco, hey,
Hi.
yeah, at the time, yeah.
This is Lila. This is my daughter, Lila. She can't really.
Hey.
I gotta keep going.
Hi, Lila. Hey.
This is my oldest. Okay.
She's
all right.
Yes, sir. Bye, Lila. Hi, Lila. Oh, okay. So it was about 500, and then after?
Yeah, and about at that time, even with the 500, I was happy. Then from the San Francisco Hip Hop Dance Fest, someone asked me, inquired me my performance, and okay, how much is it? How much do you should I pay for it?
Yeah.
I said about 500. Well, that's too little. I saw the performance, at the Hip Hop Dance Fest. I'm gonna pay 2,500 plus the business class, first class, travel.
Yes.
And I was like, what? So that was big. I clearly remember that. So it was a big turnout that I thought, that I started thinking as a business as well. Okay, well, Hip Hop Dance Fest, like the performers, has more value than I was thinking before.
Right.
So now, after America's Got Talent, of course, my rate went way up. But it was very first, how can I say, the opportunity to know the gap of thinking of myself that as a value, and in a society, how much people would pay. Understand it? I mean, my English getting worse and worse after I came back to Japan.
Yeah. No, I understand. Didn't you? I totally got it. Didn't you, Brandy?
Your English is fine. Absolutely. He's making me think of our guest last week, Bird Gang, and talking about, the valuing what you're doing in society. And starting, like you said, there was a gap in your thinking, and so then it was corrected and you started valuing yourself because, and I mean, it's just, I love hearing people talk about DanceFest and how it's been this springboard for so many people to go from thinking of their performance and their art form here to, whoa, I can go up here. So, you know, the DanceFest has been providing that. And like you said, Kenichi, when, you know, 20 years ago, 22 years ago, when the DanceFest started, nobody was like, oh, you want a theater show with hip hop dancers? Nobody was doing that or was thinking about doing that. And so it's just been this platform for people to come and be like, oh wow, I can do this, or wow, this is amazing. Let me see how much further I can take it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, mm-hmm. For real. And so then after you started realizing this and getting all this other stuff, I know you ended up auditioning for the America's Got Talent. Did you have a reason of why you wanted to do that? Did you have like an ulterior motive?
Okay. I mean, the reason that I participated in America's Got Talent, first of all, they scouted me. I mean, the one of the casting producer reached me, and they want me in it. And then also, I participated in 2013, but like a couple of years before, I've been performing for the show club called the Box in New York. It's a like show club, you know, every night. Mm-hmm. And the Simon Cowell was, I mean, a lot of celebrities, you know, came. It's a really good show, the Box. Not only dancing, but like any like variety act show, but for adults. And the Simon was there. Then after I performed this, he talked to me that, oh, are you interested? I mean, I want you in my show. But back then, I didn't know who he was. I thought he was just a, like, you know, old gentleman, you know, who has a lot of money. That's it. I didn't know. But after that, the staff, the show staff, you know, told me who he was, and I was like, wow, right? And then after a couple of years, I participated, and the reason why I tried in America's Got Talent, there were other type of competition too, like So You Think You Can Dance, you know, more for dancers, but I was never thought of trying, for example, So You Think You Can Dance, because I wasn't confident enough for my dance skills, first of all, and I never know like classic ballet or jazz or the other type of, you know, styles, and also not always my field were more, you know, for general public, and I performed lots of, you know, like circus. So my career have been more like performer or specialty act performer rather than dancer. Mm-hmm. And America's Got Talent was a perfect because you can do anything you want. You don't have to, you know, be only dancing, right? Then you can do anything. Also, the audience, the viewers, everybody. So I thought, okay, that was good. You know, there were good chance for me too. and I wanted to get kind of same effects of a Susan Boyle. You know, Susan Boyle was
The singer, the woman who
singer.
was, yeah, she was a singer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from
and
Britain's
people
Got
didn't,
Talent.
right.
Yeah, and it was like big hit, like sensation on YouTube.
Right.
So,
people didn't think she could sing the way she sang because
Right.
they assumed, you know, the way she looked, she couldn't sing that way.
yeah. So kind of I wanted to do that thing, same thing. And I think it worked well.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, you won that season that you were on. So
Yeah.
it seems like from what you're saying, you started out doing in like Connecticut, New York. It was a perfect fit.
Yeah.
You know your audience. You know your you know, kind of what you want to do. That's what it sounds like listening to you. You just have this, you know very well, like, this is what I want to be doing. This is how I want to perform. So I want to ask, so you talked about DanceFest. I think you said you'd been at DanceFest for 4 times, maybe.
I think I performed more pieces, but I think sometimes I performed 2 pieces in a same year.
Yes.
Oh,
And you would close the show, I think you would close the show.
I mean, for some, yeah, I don't remember order, but
And so,
it was RoboCop.
Yeah.
It was the mirror piece with you and Takahiro.
Takahiro.
Was the Michael Jackson piece.
Yeah.
The one, the Emperor, where you were singing.
Oh.
It was like.
And then.
Go ahead, Micaya. You were going out a little bit.
Oh, it was like he was flying, right? Like, I forget.
Oh, the ninja kind of Japanese.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then you brought By Trip.
Yes, yeah.
Those are the ones that are just coming off the top of my head.
And similar, it was similar, but like I was wearing like a red big, you know, suit.
Yeah,
that's the one I always think of. You coming up off the floor in that big baggy suit, and just, you know, everyone was just blown away by what you were doing with your body, and you were like defying gravity. It just was like that. How can he do that?
Right. Mixed with the story, right? And like the whole story, you go through it, and then at the end you got arrested, and the whole audience was like, "Oh, you know."
Arrested.
We were all in it, and then as the artistic director of the SF International Hip Hop Dance Fest, Kenichi, you don't know how many people were like, "Is he coming back? Is he going to be there this year?" You know, always your name would be in my ear. And,
really?
Oh yeah, you were an all-time favorite, Kenichi.
Yes, absolutely. All-time favorite. I mean, you are DanceFest. Yeah.
Wow. I'm so happy.
So I want to know, like, because, you know, we perform at DanceFest, and then there's also like backstage, there's, you know, we started the VIP party. I don't know if you ever went to one of those, but share some memories. So you talked about kind of how the DanceFest helped you to kind of recognize your skill and value and your talent. Are there any memories from like hanging out backstage with other dancers, or?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun hanging out. I mean, talking with the other dancers in the backstage, and also watching the other crews, other performances on the monitors.
Yes.
It was, and also, for example, Stretch, like Buddha Stretch. I mean, he has been my, you know, respects, you know, dancer from when I started dancing. Then I met him in a hip hop dance fest and started, you know, talking with him. It was like God to me at the time, right? So now I'm talking with him, you know. So a lot of new meetings, and I don't exactly remember what it was, but I think I was enjoying the most uh, hanging around in the backstage and chatting with all the dancers.
I remember a lot of kids trying to learn your style.
Yeah.
And you were so patient. You would go back. I'd always see you backstage teaching them.
Yeah. They were so cute. Yeah.
You,
trying to do like my kind of
Yes.
signature. Yeah.
Yes, I remember the TV. I don't know that we have the TV backstage anymore, but it was like, yeah, you just see all these people standing around the TV watching the other performances. I love DanceFest.
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
idea.
Micaya.
Yeah.
You're doing a really important role. I mean, you're doing really big thing in the field. I mean, the hip hop dance scene. I think you're one of the pioneers of as a producer and to spread like theater style of show, the street dance. So I think you should be very proud of yourself to spread or expand this type of art form.
Thank you. It really comes from
Yeah.
a deep honor and respect of the artists. And I'm a guest in the culture. I'm a person who has just always been a huge admirer of these artists. And I have just wanted to fight for more respect for them artistically. And I think the festival has done that. And it stands on its own now. It really does.
And it's inspired other festivals.
Yes.
We were talking to like Miss Funk, and they have that's Versastyle in Southern California. They have a festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of stuff where it's just like, let's come here and create and show our creations. Yeah.
I remember that the Stretch was saying that, we need this kind of stuff in East Coast too.
Yeah. I when we did it, there wasn't anything quite like it. And so that's why I always say I've had to learn from scratch, because I didn't really have anything to follow, and I wanted to do it my way. I didn't want to do it another way. I wasn't trying to make a profit. It wasn't about making money. It had a whole different set of intentions. But like as a mother bear, I really love watching a lot of you be able to have DanceFest as a place that you could try your artistic abilities and then go and win America's Got Talent, or all the other things that I've seen all these other dance companies go and do. And it just makes my heart so happy. I was telling Brandy earlier today, I said I was just like, I guess it was when you were on that show. I never watched that show. But I realized that my YouTube started going really big. And I was like, I don't know why, but all of a sudden, Kenichi has 1 million views of the Dance Fest. And I didn't know why. So I don't know. I think I was like, why does Kenichi? And then somebody said it was because you were on that show. And then I wanted to know. But it seemed like you had a lot of ideas and creativity, that you weren't coming every week and doing the same old shtick, as they say. You had a lot of ideas. You incorporate your light and your magic and all of that. What happened after that? Were you able to do anything with that platform?
Not really necessarily with the AGT,
Okay.
but simply I started getting more gigs.
Good.
And my rent went up. So just as a professional career, I stepped it up.
All right.
So yeah, but I didn't do. I was hoping to do my one-man show in Vegas, but
Yeah.
at the time, but that didn't happen.
You need a one-man show in Vegas, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I would go. I'd go more than once.
Yeah. It would be creative. It would definitely be creative. I feel like your head has a lot of creative ideas. I remember you would email me all your ideas of what you wanted to do. And sometimes I couldn't even understand what you were talking about. But when I would see it fulfilled on stage, I was like, oh, that's clever. Right?
Yes, yes. Every time I saw you perform, it just was like, whoa. It was a story. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a story. And child, yeah, you have some great tricks and great theater, but you can dance. So
thank you. I'm honored.
All right, well, it's been a treasure once again. Thank you, Kenichi. I really enjoyed talking to you. And
thank you, me too.
Joining us from Japan.
Yes.
So, Brandy, we only have one more episode of Respect.
That's it. I can't believe it. Believe it. And then it's DanceFest after that.
And then it's DanceFest. Our guests next week are going to be a couple of the dancers for the collaboration piece that we commissioned. And they're going to talk a little bit about the piece that they have created together. So that'll be exciting.
And we'll get to see Kenichi again in 2 weeks. We're going to have him in there. We get to see his lovely face again on DanceFest Online.
Yes, yes. Well, November 21st at 12 noon is the live broadcast. And then if you have a ticket, you'll be able to watch the event. I think a couple of days, you'll have a link that is live. How do you get tickets? You just go to sfhiphopdancefest.com, sliding scale. You can pay as little as $1. If you don't have any money, we totally understand. If you have it, sure, yeah. Look at these dancers, they appreciate it. All we're learning is that we're just trying to keep ascending. But right now it's 2020. And we're just trying to give you something to make you feel good.
It's going to make you feel good too. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't either. All right, we're wrapping this up. Thank you everybody for coming by. Thanks again, Kenichi. Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
Love you guys so much. Until next time, love and respect.